Perfect timing. How's it going, everyone? My name's McQ and welcome back to Toilet Talk. Today's episode, I'm going to be talking about a certain group, if you will, of people that the society of today's world may not be fully aware, or maybe not. A group that society, I feel, hasn't really accepted fully. So our culture as Americans is very deeply enrooted with our history. We are a melting pot of different races and cultures, yet we as Americans have already created our own culture and society in that melting pot. Even though when America was first created, we always tried to be slightly different from everyone else and try to pave our own path. Honestly, sometimes it's gotten to a point where people in America are very American. So American, in fact, that anything foreign to them, they automatically give a thumbs down to and immediately dismiss it. Anything that's different or out of the social norm, which is not necessarily a good or bad thing. It's good that we're keeping to our roots, but it's also kind of bad that we're not accepting of other people and not open to too many different things for the most case of most people. Some Americans are like that, which is unfortunate because there is so much to the world and there's just so much out there in the world and even on the internet that can cultivate and just give us different angles and perspectives on things. So without further ado, let's talk about the group known as Bronies. Now, if you don't know, Bronies are a group of males, mostly, that have a very big fan base all about My Little Pony. Now, some people may be saying, sure, they're little kids. I mean, they can like whatever they want. They like some Barbie princesses or whatever, and that's totally okay. What separates this group from a lot of others is that these Bronies, who are mostly consist of males, the demographic for it, I believe, is 15 to 40, if I'm not mistaken. And these are all males that are really into My Little Pony. It is a little bit unorthodox to be a 30-year-old male that is super into My Little Pony, has all the DVDs, and collects the My Little Ponies. But let me ask you, is it really that much weirder than some people uprooting their entire lives or jobs just to go follow a band on tour? Why do some people frown upon it or think it's a little bit odd when it can be odd in some other ways as well for people to look at it? The same goes for sports. I mean, there's so much emphasis on athleticism and sports that some people who just aren't athletic or just don't like the sports think that's odd, and they are immediately thought of as weird and different. I think it's wonderful that someone could find such enjoyment from the entertainment of My Little Pony. I just feel really bad for the Bronies to get really looked down upon. I've heard so many stories from people who liked My Little Pony, but they were constantly picked on, bullied, and just called names, and just generally just got a really bad reputation for just doing something that they loved. And that is not the way that we should operate. That's not the way we should interact with people. We all have different likes, we all have different tastes, so why does being a sports fan more socially acceptable than liking My Little Pony, even though it is more geared for girls and children? Does it really matter who likes what and what they get their entertainment and what makes them feel happy? They even have conventions called BronyCon, I think, and other conventions where it's all about My Little Pony. And I say to those people, good on you. It's not easy to come out with saying that you like something that is unorthodox and something that will make other people not like you just because of something that you love. These Brony conventions, I feel, are a very excellent way for people to meet other people, to share interests, And for some people, it's an escape to a place where they feel comfortable for the first time in years. Maybe the only weekend of the entire year that a brony could feel comfortable with himself or herself is at these cons. I have read stories where some bronies say that they only feel themselves during a convention or when they meet other bronies, and I think that's just terrible. How can you not feel like yourself, not feel true to yourself, not be happy to yourself? You should feel that way all the time. I mean, obviously you can't be happy-go-lucky 24/7, but you should be comfortable with yourself and you should be able to be happy. And just the fact that some people just cannot find enjoyment in their life except for a few days, that just kinda, I'm in disbelief about that. Now that's not to say that every brony feels that way, but I have heard stories about that. I think it's a very fascinating subject and group of people to research or study or just observe in a scientific manner. I myself am not a brony, but I think it's a very interesting, possibly psychological reason why some of these people like My Little Pony, and I think that is just fascinating. And I'm just very proud to know that some people out there, no matter what people say about them or no matter what people think about them, they still do what they love despite all the haters, because haters gonna hate. There is actually a really good documentary I found about bronies on Netflix. I'm not sure if it's still on there, and I'm not being paid to advertise anything like that, but it's very interesting to see how some of these guys just gear up for this BronyCon, and you get to hear a lot of their personal stories about how they were picked on or how they just felt different. There's even a part in the documentary at a BronyCon where it was a group meeting for military men that were bronies. Men who fight for our country and are on the front lines giving their lives for us to live a regular life are sometimes the same people that get slandered for liking something that they don't like. That I thought was very interesting to watch, and one military man said that the main theme or main message that My Little Pony about friendship and other things were just something that he found relatable into the military about their honor and just other things to that degree that relate to the military. So if you are interested in watching this documentary, I highly recommend it. It definitely gives you a different perspective on a different group of people, which again, as I always like to say on this show, that you should look at as many angles as possible and you should try to be exposed to as many different people and different positions and different viewpoints of things. So if there are any bronies watching this, then I applaud you for what you do, and I encourage you to keep on doing what you love and not let anyone else say differently. And that is where I'm going to end this episode. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Toilet Talk. Be sure to check out any of the annotations around my head for any more videos that I've done, and if you haven't subscribed, you should. Why not? I do other videos about several different topics and different opinions that I have, and I also play some video games, so if you want to watch some of that, then that'll be over here. I'll make it over here. So once again, thank you so much for watching, have a great day, and as usual, I will see you in the next video. See you later.